Sorry. Let me just double check this is working. I hope everyone's having a good week. I am doing my weekly live. So, my weekly live I do each Friday here in Australia where I talk on a topic and we make a recipe. So, we are going to make raw vegan crackers. I never make them because I always feel like there's something I thought like everyone, it was just simple. But then I was asked, what's a good cracker recipe? We use foods which I already have in the fridge because tomorrow I go to the farmers markets and I get a whole lot of new food. So we use food which is not traveling too well right now. I am Roar Skye. I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed. I found a raw food diet and it saved my life. And I'm here and I'm sharing. And I just did a most beautiful talk in the Divine Family community on Zoom. So that was amazing. But now I'm here. This is my regular spot. This is where I show up every week. I show up a lot on YouTube, but this is like where I show up. And the topic I want to talk on today is actually the self-love aspect. How much this is not so much about food, or you cannot commit to the food until you love yourself. And I think it took my whole life until I was 40, until I realized that what I wanted to achieve in life was going to have to come from love. That I was trying to get a good job most of my life, or have lots of friends, or all these things. And yet I'd never learned to do these things for myself, like make good choices for myself, make sure I feel good, make sure that the most important thing is that I feel good, because then the people that I'm around feel good. If I feel good, disease does not exist. If I feel good, I seem to attract better things. And I'd been going about this all wrong, trying to skip levels as if forgetting about myself and self-sacrificing was going to get me higher in life. As I said, I was in bed for 15 years. I was so sick and I found raw foods and I got up, I got well, and I'm here sharing as much as I can. But yeah, I think it's really important you understand that the decisions I made when it came to eating a raw food diet came based off the fact that food could make me feel pain or food could make me feel well. And when I took the route, not so much about taste or overstimulation from food, but that after I finished eating a raw food meal, whether that was an apple, a carrot, a salad, a smoothie, a juice, I felt consistently good and I did not feel bad, because I noticed when something made me feel bad, the negative talk in my head was not just about my stomach. Everyone around me copped it. Everything I thought copped it. And I didn't realize that when I had foods which essentially are high vibrational, like raw foods, that I could actually feel good. And if I felt good, all I did was share good. And out of that sharing good came my health, all sorts of things. I usually show a photo of where I came from, so you guys just know how sick I was. But it's important to know that this all, as much as the raw foods did save my life, you have to love the choices you make. And how I knew which raw foods to make is they made me feel good consistently. And that just made my life feel good consistently. So let me show you a photo. Here we go. So yeah, as I said, I was sick my entire life basically, and now I am very well, and I do the chef thing, I do health coaching, about to go to Pilates, but in this photo here I'd had over 60 surgery, not 60 yet, just under 60 at this stage, and I'd been in a bed for 15 years. So that day I got up was a very rare occasion. My nieces were in the water, I wanted to experience it, but I've mostly been sick. I had a rare congenital disease, chronic viruses, mast cell activation. What else did I have? Tachycardia, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, psychiatric, PTSD, FND, which is a functional neurological disorder. In this photo, I had been on a walking stick for about 3 years from pain. And I have been in different versions of myself throughout life, but the one thing I never did was think that, what if my choices came from love? Instead of my choices coming because someone out there said it, and I was like, oh my God, that's a doctor, or that's a professor, or that's a physio, or instead it was like, how does this make me feel? And I feel that's how I got to veganism, and from veganism got to a raw food diet. And I'm very blessed now that I get to do these talks and I get to then make recipes. Hello! Which medication were you taking though? So I had been on medications since I was 25. And at this stage, I was just about off all medications. I was still taking some pain relief. I was still taking hormone replacement because I had a full hysterectomy. I was taking stomach medication because I've had my stomach removed, duodenum and top of intestine removed, and I'd come off most of it. There was a small amount left. I was on an SSRI for pain, and I was on dexamphetamine for ADHD, and then I had a break with reality. I came out the other side of that, and I was well for about a year with no medications. Then I got shingles through the eye. Then I got a functional neurological disorder, and I couldn't walk and talk. And then I was on no medication, and I'll show you the photo. And then I started eating a vegan diet in hospitals. They put me on medication, but that seemed to make me sicker, so they stopped here. No medications at this point. I had been drinking for a couple months to try help lower the PTSD. My hair had fallen out. My liver started failing because I'd been so sick. And I started eating a raw food diet. So I was vegan whole food, and I couldn't get up, and I started eating raw foods. So, hello, Andy. Meth. No, I haven't done anything that wasn't prescribed for me. I'm not on meth. I did drink to help slow the PTSD for 3 months, and then my liver started failing. I also, what else did I do? I was vaping, but I know many people who drink and vape and don't end up as sick as I would with chronic tachycardia, couldn't get up, FND. I'd been in a neurological hospital. I had to relearn to walk and talk, dress myself, butter toast, for 10 weeks. And then after that, because I had had 60 surgeries and had my stomach removed and had all this trauma, I was in psych hospitals for the next couple of years. But on a whole food plant-based diet, I was still sick. The only way I got well was with raw foods. But I'm not here to tell my story. My story is up 1,000,000 times. I'm here to talk about how I discerned that raw foods was going to work for me. And that was essentially, it consistently made me feel good. That the choices that I make could not only make me feel good in that moment, which food does, but it always made me tired, lethargic, bloated, sluggish. But also when I'd been that sick, it kept sending me back to bed, and I didn't even know that. And this must happen to many people. If I ate the food raw, I got up. 10 months of eating raw foods. See, and you could say it's that I eliminated, but I did a paleo diet with nothing in it. I ended up with shingles through the eye and FND. So in a neurological hospital, so it can't be that. But 10 months later, I look like, where is the photo? Here, 10 months of raw foods. And remember, in that other photo, I'm whole food plant-based. I have stopped drinking. I was still vaping, but I was having whole foods. And I don't think that's just the answer. Because every time I eat cooked food, I would go back to bed. So that's that. Thank you. I feel amazing now. I love it. Oh, you're in Scotland. Hello. But I got here by making decisions from love. And that means that whatever choices you make cannot have a pattern of pain in them. Otherwise, you attract pain. That's what I learned. So when I decided to eat foods, they had to feel good thinking about it, preparing it like my salad, eating it, and then after I had to be super energized, and the next day I couldn't wake up feeling like crap. I was springing out of bed, all my symptoms were gone in 4 to 6 weeks, and that all came from making a decision from love, and I think that's really, really important. So, why are you coming? I'm trying to show pictures here, but we will get back to the kitchen because while we talk about love, we're going to infuse into these crackers we're about to make lots of love. You look an off-brand Barbie doll. I don't even know whether that's a compliment. Off-brand. I feel like on this live I've heard everything. I've heard it all. Okay, we're here. So we are going to make some raw food. And I've been requested to make crackers, raw vegan crackers. And on Fridays we use food which is, I'm going to go to the farmer's market tomorrow, basically. So we are going to use leftover food to make a recipe. This is what I do every Friday. I'm in Australia. It's already Friday here. Yes, I am in the future. Okay, we will get some foods that I've got. We've got, well, see, I don't know whether I want to use all this. We've got cauliflower and carrot is what I wanted to put in this recipe. Oh, there's some other stuff there as well, but I've got a whole, oh, that side of the cauliflower is not looking so good. We've got some onion. See how it's not looking so good? That's actually 2 weeks old, that's why. We could put some sun-dried tomatoes in it. What else? We can put some carrots. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret, and that is raw crackers are the easiest recipe to actually make as a raw foodist, because like you put it in the dehydrator and it just dries out, and if it over cracks, it's fine because you're going to crack the crackers anyway. So yeah, so let's basically all you're going to do is chop it up and put it into a blender, and then we're going to put it on some trays and into the dehydrator. So we will start. We've got some carrots there. See, everything's not looking so crash hot because it's Friday. Get a bit of a steaming facial here from the, oh my God. You can literally stand over this and give yourself a facial. Oh my God, where is it? No amount of tea towels. Gosh, I'm not doing well. It really is Friday here, isn't it? Up. Tea towel. Because this will be hot. It's been in the dishwasher. So yeah, you can literally get any vegetables and seeds or nuts that you like and flavors and put them together. And what have you got? You got crackers. So this is actually a good recipe to start with, a foolproof one if you're just raw vegan. Plus you can cracker these up, like break these up and put them in your salad. Oh my God, that is burning my hand. It's because I only eat things raw. I'm not used to all that heat. I don't think that's a safe way to cut. Okay. So we got carrots. Oh, you guys like directions or instructions? So here we go. Do 1 cup of carrot, 2 cups of carrot into the blender. There's also some tomatoes I saw there. Oh, that one's looking a bit dodgy. 1 cup of tomatoes. I don't know what that is. Australian women are ready for the apocalypse. I watched Mad Max. I know how this plays out. That's true. If I survived all I did, I mean, I had 60 surgeries. I've had my stomach removed. I'd say, look out, Mad Max. Look out for me. I could survive an apocalypse for sure. I'd probably be a walk in the park next to what I went through. Probably like a fun day. Okay, I've got a ton of cauliflower, so we're running with the cauliflower. I said 2 cups of carrot, 1 cup of tomatoes. See, that Thanos, all I'm doing is detoxing you. By you watching me shine my light, that sick emoji is just you bringing up all the toxicity. You want to be healthy. That's all that's happening. So I'm going to try to do, I've got a ton of cauliflower here. I may be eating cauliflower for the next week. Okay, so we're going to do, I think it's going to be like 2 cups of cauliflower. And half the rest is like all over my bench. I got the song working 9 to 5. Do 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 do. I don't know. I think I saw that. I did. I went with my sister and saw that on stage. I don't know why that's in my head. Okay, so a little bit more. A little bit more. It's like 2.5, but that's just the way we roll today because, well, we've got a lot of cauliflower. Okay. What is this? Okay, my name is Skye. I'm a raw foodist. I saved my life. I've had over 60 surgeries, had my stomach removed, duodenum removed, top of intestines removed, had a full hysterectomy, was in a bed non-stop or hospital for 15 years straight. I saved myself with raw foods. Whole food, plant-based, cooked, still sick. Eating raw foods, my symptoms went within 6 weeks. And so I get on here and I share. I share recipes, I share what I've learned, I share. And I'm not here to force you into anything, I'm just sharing. If you don't want to listen, it's so fine that you move on. Because yeah, I'm not here to sell you anything or sell you happiness and joy. Is that something people like? That's what I like. Okay, so 2 cups of carrots, 1.5 of cauliflower, 1 spring onion, and I've got some sun-dried tomatoes. So we're doing things by a cup here. So let's do, well, it's going to be really sun-dried tomato, isn't it? That's all right. I'll do the rest of it. Do a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. It's going to be really rich. It'll taste good, trust me on this. Now, what I might do, because there's so much here, I'm going to blend this up. I might just, my blender's here, so you guys can just see it from this angle. Can you see it? It's just a Vitamix. I'll show you the finished product, but I just want to get this going. Okay, I'm going to put a cup of water in to blend. It's just annoying because then the dehydrator is just going to have to suck this out, but it's the way it goes. I'm going to put a cup in. We're going to put nuts and seeds and stuff in it too, so that will be fine. That'd be better. All right, so that is blended. What did I miss? I'm so sorry. May God bless you. Thank you. I think God did bless me now. Hello. Okay, I will. Let's talk on blenders. I will show you what I've got, and this is in my Amazon storefront. Actually, most of the stuff on my Amazon storefront may not be available. It's available, but you have to just, it's just all there and listed so you know what I use. But a lot of the stuff, because I'm in Australia, we only can access small amounts of the American market. So it will be like probably sold out, but you can find the brands is basically why I made the Amazon store. This is a, I think it's like a Voyager, no, that's not the Voyager. It's called a, I don't know what it's called actually, but it's on my Amazon storefront, which I don't think I put in the, oh yeah, it should be in the description, but it's a Vitamix. It's one of the newer ones. And the problem I have with this is my mum has the older one, the Vitamix. In Australia, this is quite expensive. It's like $1,000. In America, it's a lot cheaper. So it comes with a big jug, okay? I don't always want a big jug and I can't get access to smaller jugs in Australia. I'll check again if they're selling them yet, but if I had my time over, I would probably buy the older model of a Vitamix like my mum's. It's called a Voyager. I know some friends who are all vegans who love it, and the jug is quite small and thin, so you can get like good dressings and things. As long as you get a Vitamix, I say. Vitamix blenders are amazing. I'm not affiliated. It's just my experience that they're literally, you can blend up ginger and garlic and carrots and sweet potato. You can warm things up. So you're not going to go wrong if you get this one, but this one here means you have to do, it's got like Bluetooth and stuff, which I never use. You have to do big amounts. That's the caveat here. So I hope that helps. Let me just do. Awesome, thank you. I heard you literally make peanut butter with those, like you don't need to add oil. So no, I can't do that. I actually made peanut butter. I use my food processor for that because it just seems to burn up. You can definitely blend through them, but I made this peanut butter with peanuts, chia, and peanut protein powder and some water. I always find using a good food processor is better for nut butters. That's my experience. I know people have said they do it, but for me, it hasn't worked at this stage. But yes, you can blend up nuts. I make nut dressings with water and all of that. I actually would show you my I can show you my food processor. It's by Kenwood. But it should be on my Amazon storefront as well. I got a really super duper one because obviously I'm a chef and do raw foods, but this makes my nut butters, this makes my like protein balls. I love the whippedness of this one now here. If you buy this in America, you could actually buy a food processor attachment. Once again, they don't sell this attachment for this model in Australia. I should be a salesperson. But yeah, you can buy this model. You can't buy the old one and buy the attachment. I would love the attachment, but in Australia, we don't have it. Okay, there we go. Shannon said, Darinka, I made the peanut butter in the Vitamix Explorian. Maybe that's the one I'm talking about. And it was so easy. I kind of wish I got that one. Because I got this thinking it's a newer model and that's amazing, but I don't know. It's definitely not bad. It's amazing. I use it every day. Every day I use it. Oh, we've done this. Well, I can blend this a bit more actually now. Put this in. Okay, this is the thing about this, is you just simply you know what, I could try making peanut butter. I always struggled with it though. So you can do that, and that's probably how I should have been doing the peanut butter, but I had been doing that in my food processor. We now are going to flavor this. I'm going to flavor it with, I think some tomato. Oh, I think miso would be nice in this. Maybe some darker sumac. I don't know. This is all jumping out at me. Things are just jumping at me here. Okay, this is the first things that jumped out at me. But you can use whatever you want. You can use smoky paprika. This is the thing with crackers. It's just veggies and flavorings, and then I'll put the nuts and seeds in. And I've got onion powder here. So let me put some miso in here. You could, if you don't want to use miso, you can use tamari or namashoyo. Just put a tablespoon in like that. And then as for flavors, I will do a teaspoon of sumac. As I said, you can do whatever flavors you like. This is the great thing about raw foods. If you put some yummy spices in, you won't go wrong. Onion powder. Sumac is an Egyptian flower, or it's like a flower, but I think it's an Egyptian spice. Middle Eastern spice, I think. Teaspoon of onion powder. And I love darker. Which has got like sesame seeds, pistachio, walnuts, cashew, hazelnuts, cumin seeds, salt, sumac, coriander, turmeric, and thyme. It smells really good. Okay. That's it for flavor. And I'm going to also then put in some nuts and seeds. I might do we'll do chia, pumpkin seed. You can add any in that you like at all. I feel like that's my calling. Maybe some sunflower. Oh, I've got some pecans there. That's very exotic. Why not? Why not? But truly, you can put whatever you want in here. As long as you get the chia or flax to bind this baby, and that's just like a minimum of 1 to 2 tablespoons. So let's do that. This is where the fun exploration is in raw food. So that's all wet. So we'll do like, actually, yeah, we're gonna do 1, 2. I know a lot of people mix them in another bowl. I just don't. You learn with me, I just try and do everything I can in one. So we'll do 3 maybe of the pumpkin seed, maybe 4. The pumpkin seed, which is probably like 1/4 of a cup or something. And then the pecans are just something different. You definitely don't have to do that. Maybe like a handful. I would say about 1/2 a cup, or maybe a cup to 1/2 a cup. And let me blitz this. Oh my God, that's so heavy. We're infusing this with love, guys. Hello. I am good. How are you, Nick? Let me... I pulse peanuts quite a bit before I start blending. Maybe that helped, but I could make tahini easily. I had to add olive oil. Yeah, so that's why my food processor comes in handy. But if you are in the US, please know that this model, you can get the food processor base. But I think a lot of people have food processors. See, I was starting my life, so I had no tools. But yeah, I like my food processor for certain things and then this for certain things. Like hamburgers, I make in the food processor because you get like all bits, like textures. Okay, we're gonna have to, oh. I'll just stir this a bit. But the idea is I don't want it blended smoothly. I do want it chunky. You can also use juice pulp if you want in this, but we are using leftover veggies. It's a Friday here. It needs a bit of acid. It needs just a, but then again, it's supposed to be a cracker. But I'll put a squeeze of lemon in it. Usually just need to offset everything with a bit of acid. That is amazing, if I do say so myself. Those pecans and the darker, that's good. Oh, well, there's no lemon. There will be no lemon, but it's not a big deal because these are crackers and I'm not putting apple cider vinegar in it. I'm not great with histamines like in miso, but I am just not good with vinegar. I've noticed I have to avoid that like the plague. So there'll be no vinegar. That's actually pretty good, I think. Because I want chunky bits. I do not want it even. I want seeds to be seen. Yep, that's all right. So that second part was not to like make it smooth and perfect. It's just to open up the chia seeds and mix through the spices. And now we are going to, these are also on my Amazon storefront, but you might already have some. Any ones will be fine. It doesn't have to be fancy with crackers. I actually have corn chip molds, which are fun, but for ease sake, we'll just put this in here, right? Where's the, I didn't end up getting it. In my head, I thought I got it, but. So just gonna put this down. So it's just like veggie. I'm thinking there's going to be 2 trays of this. And you dehydrate these within an inch of their life. You make them really dry. After 3 hours, you can score them to make shapes so they crack easy, but you don't have to. You can just make them rustic. I call it anything that's just broken rustic. Yep, there's a big pecan there. Rustic. Or maybe it'll just do one. I'm good. How are you, Rob? These kind of recipes don't feel homey for me. It feels empty, unlike a stir fry or baguette with eggplant gratin. So the whole thing is you've got to use your brain to create things. I don't know how this doesn't feel homey. I love salads because I feel my best. If I eat bread, when I remember, I felt sluggish, slow, I was sick. That's how those foods remind me. Stir fries I make, baguettes I make 3 ingredient breads. I make breads, they're much denser, but it's worth my health. That's what you have to weigh up. If you have perfect health and you don't feel you need to change, your life's amazing and you feel light and airy and get through days of work, then that's great. But you have to remember you may have created that feeling around the food to get you through a crappy day. We don't want that. We want that you don't even think about food because your life feels so energized and so good. Like I'm 44 and I feel amazing. And that's why I eat this way, not to feel really. This is just an extra bonus that I love the taste and it makes me feel amazing. But I never want to be like, my days are crappy and I need food to make me feel better. And then it only feels better when you actually chew it. And then afterwards, the next day, you don't feel that great. So they're going to go into the dehydrator. As I said, after 3 hours, you can score it with just like a sharp knife. Where are we here? Or a kebab stick. Do you call them kebabs? I never know. But you can just score it. I could do it now, like just just make it. I mean, they're very big, but you can score it into any shapes you want after about 3 hours. And then when you've finished it, it's easier to crack. You more than likely will find at about halfway point, you flip it and then you'll get air going all the way through. But I usually continue to update you guys what I'm doing on my Instagram page. So if you follow me there, I try update the end on the community posts, like what we finish making and the end recipe. But if you want to do this like straight away, I do update my Instagram story with where I'm at. It goes into a dehydrator at 115. And then as I said, 3 hours in, you can score it. It could take, at say like 6 or 7 hours, you could flip it, maybe 8, and then it'd probably take another 4 to 5 hours. But I don't know because I never made this. We're just running with it. I'm not a cracker girl usually. Usually I try push myself a bit because these to me seem easy. But these are good in salads. You want a bit of crunch. Some people literally just love crackers in salads. So this one will be much, this one might even be just half or a third maybe. Not as much. Hello, good morning. Scotland forever. Scottish people are really funny. I think Australians are funny, but I've met some Scottish people who are pretty funny. Hey, JJ. I'm not cooking. I'm dehydrating. I only eat meat, very other little junk food. So I don't eat meat because I got sick still on it. Plus I'm vegan. I went vegan before I went raw vegan. Vegan definitely didn't help me with my health. I think it was a step in the right direction, but I needed to go raw. That was healthy for me. So, but I'm not here to judge. I've been in different situations in my life and I've done different things. And as long as we're always working towards feeling good, I feel life can teach us and lead us exactly where we're supposed to go. So yeah, we're going to get like 1.5 tray, whatever these size trays are. They're like a wrap tray, I think. Well, what's the time? Oh, okay. What time? No, it's not. I've got enough time. I've got a Pilates class on after this. And you'll notice as you start doing this, and by the time you get to the second one, how the nuts and seeds are starting to, and the sun-dried tomato are starting to absorb more and more of the liquid. So it gets like stickier, and the chia seeds and all of that. Like now it's like, it's not as wet. That makes sense. Bit of chemistry. All right. So that is infused with love and health and goodness, and I can imagine a beautiful salad being made with that after I come home from the farmers markets tomorrow. If you want to know which dehydrator I use, I have shared a kitchen tour before with everything that I use, but that is the 9 tray with the timer by Excalibur. But if you want to see everything close up, there is, I think a couple of weeks ago, I did a tour of my kitchen and the tools I use, and I choose to use Excalibur because it's the best that I know of at this stage. Vitamix, it's the best at this stage, and that Kenwood food processor was like $400 for a food processor. It was the most expensive, and it broke, but it has 5-year warranty. So I don't have an oven, I don't have a stove, so I wanted to invest in these things. But you definitely, if you're just starting out raw, I would not go investing. I would invest more of your time in trying to stay raw. Like, don't think, because some things can come distractions. It's exciting, like I'm going to get this and I'm going to get this. I started with a chopping board, a knife, and a vegetable peeler, and I was so excited when I had my first like blended food. I was even more excited when 6 months in I tried dehydrated food. So I think it could help me and Dawn with her raw goals to start exploring your recipes. Yes, because there's a part of being human that, well, this is what I believe happens, is humans are around other humans who are very stimulated, like excited is what we see over foods and restaurants and drinks. So why we tend to leave what we're doing is because we want that. We want what we see. You know, in the wild, animals copy, they become each other, communities become each other. The only way I can eat really plain, but every third day, and it doesn't have to be huge, but just doing a little bit of something, it stimulates my brain enough. But the caveat to that is the more densely made the food is, to me, I don't feel as good. But that doesn't mean that if I haven't been eating light, that my body can totally tolerate a denser food. So that's fine, but I couldn't do it every day. Plus every day doesn't make it great, but usually I make something Friday. So by Saturday, Sunday, I have a treat meal, which could look like anything, right? But during the week, I'm quite happy to do green juices. I'll have a matcha. I'll do a salad. I share all of this. I might have some apple with peanut butter in the afternoon, or just some raspberries, or raspberries and chia. And I'm happy to do that. But then every few days I'll be like, oh, I feel like, and even that is quite simple. Like I don't do gourmet often. Yeah, so yes, coconut meat is amazing. I eat raw too. Good for you. You eat raw meat. Okay. Hey, Nate Higgins is an American chef and he makes cheap equipment. I don't think he makes this. Hello from Arizona. Hello. Oh, Skye makes the best recipes. Thank you. I've been drinking coconut aloe vera water. It's great. That does sound amazing. So I love, love, love coconut water. I'm actually going to get some before I train when I do Pilates. I just noticed the more coconut water I drink just before, because it's electrolyte, literally flinging my body through the air. I'm like, woo, look at me go. Fasted and full of coconut water, well, besides the green juices and the matcha, which are essentially just more liquids. But I believe the reason this works extremely well for me is because I don't have a stomach. So you put something in a body which is missing an organ, and there's a lot of energy that has to be diverted. And I've built myself up to this. But years ago, you told me to try and like being dehydrated and train with nothing in me but juice. It probably wouldn't have worked. I sound British. I'm Australian. I'm an Aussie. But I would probably sound British to some. And aloe vera, I used to get that and juice it, but it was so bitter. I also think I have an aloe allergy, not to the aloe gel, but if any of the outside gets in, because I had a really bad reaction to prickly pear, and I seem to get the same one to aloe vera. But my allergies are much better with the omega-3s and the magnesium and the quercetin. So it might be something that I do again because it makes your skin. It's so interesting how you pick up the properties of food, like the papaya, that beautiful like soft feeling is how your skin becomes. That gel stuff in flaxseed and chia becomes like your skin. Coconut, like it's really nice, and that's what aloe does, that sliminess. But also that means the epithelial cells are like that in your gut. That's what we want. That's why it's gut healthy, right? Papaya, it really, we would have been sometime in consciousness, in evolution, in a consciousness of being aware that our body needs something, and we just pick the image from the food. It's still there. We just don't feel that anymore. What is the best skincare, healthcare that you do? Raw foods. Like you take that away, I age at 100 miles an hour. I actually age if I don't even get raw foods right. So I'm really about how I respond to food. On what I use on my skin, I've used when I was younger, it's Nivea, just Nivea creme or Nivea cream. And there's a very natural body wash on the floor of my shower. I might wash my face sometimes, but if I got makeup on, I use coconut oil and take it off. But my skin's elasticity and amazement is just simply from raw foods. You ain't Batman, so don't pretend. What if I want to be Batman? What type? Okay, plant-based raw food. So I was really sick and like this and like this. I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed. I was chronically sick in a bed for 15 years. Here, I'd lost most of my hair. I was on a whole food plant-based diet. I had been an alcoholic in the past 3 months. It stopped, but drunk 3 more times at this point. I did smoke still at this stage. My liver was failing, but I'd also had the 60 surgeries. I had trauma, I had functional neurological disorder, tachycardia, liver problems, bladder problems. I had kidney problems because I was bleeding every time I went to the bathroom. And I started eating raw foods, and within 10 months, voila. And my hair started growing back. That's actually when this period of time I never used anything on my skin but coconut oil. In that picture, I've got a Rare Perez makeup on, which is edible grade. It's the only one which I have found natural enough at that time. It's only because in that photo I was out, I had some powder on and a little bit of natural mascara on, but most days nothing would go on my skin. And I ate everything really fresh at that time, but raw plant-based foods literally changed my life. So, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's what I like to hear. Thank you. Yeah, so that's why I'm so motivated to share. That photo was the first photo was 4 years ago with the hair falling out. The other photo was when I was 36. I'm now 44. And I work every day on myself. So my whole purpose on being here is working on myself on this planet. And the more I did that, the more I got the career I love, friends I love, travel I love. It all stems off how well I look after myself. And for me, that's raw foods, movement, nature, early nights, cold ocean swims. These are all my priorities. So, which raw foods do you eat? Most raw foodies do not look healthy. Okay, so I've been into different types of raw food diet. I started off when I healed myself just eating nothing from a packet. So all fruits, veggies, avocado, lots of avocado at the start. And then when I got into really high fruits, I looked terrible. I got sick, my blood sugars went up, my electrolytes dropped, and my iron crashed, and I'd fixed all that originally. I now eat a high greens, a high cruciferous, lots of juice. I have no stomach or duodenum or top of intestine. So I find the first part of my day, I hydrate. I just green juice as much as I can. Celery, apple, cucumber. If I didn't put it in this live, I've got to remember to keep doing it. I usually have a folder you can get about mast cell activation, which I still deal with, which is only just rashes and a bit of nerve pain now that comes up if I eat high histamine foods, and that has what I eat in a day. But I'll then after 11 I can eat, but I'm getting better by not eating till about 1. And at that stage, I'll usually eat a high omega-3, high greens, high cruciferous. So we'll have chia, flax oil, a bit of avocado. It's high histamine if I can tolerate it. Maybe pumpkin seeds. This is what I'm doing right now. And then it's all like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, greens, some onion. And then I will usually have some raspberries if I haven't had some before, or blueberries. And if I'm still hungry, I may do a chia pudding. But the density in that, I would say I'm probably getting about 500 calories from juice, maybe more in the morning, because there's green apples, there's coconut water that's quite sweet. I also have a matcha, which has homemade hemp milk in it, and some dates in it. Maybe 500 about 500 I'd say. I'd have to check that out. And then that salad is quite dense in fatty acids because I'm doing chia, flax, pumpkin seed, a bit of avocado, and a huge amount of flax oil. And then, I don't know, I also think I have slow transit, but I haven't lost that much weight doing this. I've been doing this for about this way for 3 months. It took me about 3 months to get used to eating this way. And then I try stop eating. But it takes me about 2 hours to eat my salad. Like I eat it on camera. Everyone watches me eat it. It just takes me ages. So, hang on, let me just fix some of these people here. I don't know what the people mean by Batman. As marketing agent, your story has so much business potential, you know. Yeah, here's the thing. I have done some business. I talk about this on here. Oh crap, I've got to go in a second. I talk about this on here. I did a business course, right? And I know how to push to get clients, right? But I have noticed, just like my health, it has to sit in alignment. So I prefer to just share, and who's meant for me will come. Maybe as time goes on, I'll do more and more. But that seems that when I sit in this way of doing, I seem to get enough work, and I seem to not be stressed. I seem to be happy. The people who work with me actually sort me out, as opposed to me being like using calls to action and like shock therapy on them, and then they're in a course where they don't know whether they're meant to be there. When someone really wants it, they find me. So that's kind of working. I feel bad and I'm in bed, 3 dogs eating Pop-Tarts in the dark. Well, how about tonight you do something different for yourself? It might be even night. You'd be surprised what you can do by just taking a salad into the dark. It will bring you to the light. Trust me, it's not like I was doing raw foods always perfectly. I started by, I think, eating raw foods in bed because that's all I could do. But you eat enough light and all you can see is light. And those are packages of sunlight. It's a very simple philosophy that's the start of the greatness. Do you consider it a vegan diet? I do, but vegan to me is different. So vegan to me is finding deep self-love, so much so that you can love the planet, love the animals, have this great respect for all humans, for anything that's an animal, including the fact that you take plants and eat those. When I was vegan, I was still in hospitals and still sick. I couldn't really be at my whole vegan potential. But vegan is like more than just the diet, but I'm definitely raw vegan. You're very welcome. I share lots. I had cancer. Sing me happy birthday. I'm sorry you had cancer. I love you so much. Thank you a million times for what you share. You're such a huge positive influence. I keep going back and forth with raw and cooked vegan. My goal is to go 100% raw vegan. I swear the trick to staying raw is you've got to find your own way to love it. Like whether that's you put extra spice on a big extra dollop of avocado. Your goal should be to stay raw and not think about food combining or worrying if it's high fat or low fat. If your goal is to stay raw, it's so hard, otherwise everyone will do it. And go high raw. That's all fine too. Just own where you are and stay there and flavor it, make it good, because eventually you'll be like, you know what, I notice when I do this a bit different, I feel even better. None of us influencers, content creators started perfect. Like I was literally climbing from the depths there. But you've definitely got this. Takes me too long to eat a salad to at least 2 hours. Oh my God, I'm not alone. It is, and it's better because you guys talking to you eating a salad makes me do that slower. And doing that slower, I don't get indigestion. So it's good. Leave it, come back to it, go and live your best life. I literally had to accept that eating salad would take long. And still, so what we don't realize is all we should be caring about is self-care. When you reach that point, everything that comes off, then it sits in the background. It only comes forward when you get run down. So I can't do this, what I'm doing right now, unless my whole personality is love. Love in nature, love your salad, if you're going to do a cold shower, or a cold bath, if you don't like it, your brain will find a way out of it. So do it for 30 seconds. Do it for 10 seconds. That's the other thing I had to learn with an ADHD brain is, if you want to run, it took me 1.5 years to start running. I had to walk every day. If I want to become a runner, I have to accept that I'm going to be jogging slower than most walkers at the start. Not straight off the gate. You have to be the tortoise, not the hare on this journey. Just keep rinse and repeating, loving yourself, and like as in enjoying it. So if you're going to put a face mask on of, like, I don't know, aloe vera, and maybe you've made something else with some papaya, who knows, is you've got to love the experience. Love that you get to sit on your bed and feel so amazing from your ocean swim and your beautiful raw food. Love it. Don't force it, because force, I swear, makes your brain will find a way. Pain is death. So the brain has to get you out of pain. When you understand that principle, you will start to see you have to love what you do if it's what you feel you need to do. So that's how I created what I do. And I'm going to have to go. Do you manage eating enough protein as a vegan? Well, yeah, I go through stages where I have a lot of soaked lentils, mushrooms. I'll use peanut protein and hemp protein. The one thing I notice about them is it's so taxing on the body. Like the amount, like it's so easy to assimilate hydration and fruit and greens and veggies to some extent. But then when you start getting into the denser, more amino acid rich foods, you can feel how taxing it is. Less so taxing when it's sprouts and greens, which assimilate very quick. I mean, I must be getting enough, right? Look at this. I had no hair. Look at this now. I also have sea moss gel, which has lots of minerals. I find minerals and hydration are like my superpower. So, yeah. Love you guys, and I will keep you updated with these.